I wanted to have a chance to talk to you because we had the resilience budget yesterday. It was a very major package. I wanted to give you my take on the situation and why we did this and what lies ahead. We are in a very grave situation, health-wise with the COVID pandemic, economy-wise with the impact on economies all around the world and on Singapore, and also, therefore, in terms of the cohesion of the society, the confidence, the response which is necessary, it's absolutely crucial for us to hold together, to respond effectively to the immediate challenge, and so also to give people confidence that we can cope with this, we have the resources, we know what we are doing, we're ready for what lies ahead. And what lies ahead is very uncertain, many possibilities which are very worrying. We have to be prepared for them, and we must be ready. If it comes, we're able to respond to them. And that's why yesterday, DPM Heng made the resilience budget, which had 40-something billion dollars, $47 billion, and a $17 billion draw on the reserves with the President's approval. It's unprecedented, but in this situation, it's absolutely necessary. So on the health side, the COVID virus, my analogy is the tide has not turned. We've been fighting, the tide is still coming in. What has changed is that we have put up our dikes, we've held the water out. But the dike leaks. You get bits coming in, people coming home, the virus cuts into Singapore. We have to keep a very vigilant eye on it continuously and make sure that every drop which comes in, we mop it up quickly before a drop becomes a rivulet becomes a stream, then I have a flood, then we are sunk. Why do I say this? Because you can see what's happening around the world. In China, they've had a tremendous outbreak with superhuman effort. They've brought numbers back down to zero. Now they are very, very worried about the virus coming back to them from other countries in the world. You see it outbreak and taking off exponentially in Europe now. Italy, but also Germany, France, Spain, Britain. It's a very grave situation, and they are imposing drastic emergency measures, lockdowns. And Boris Johnson, as Prime Minister, tells his people, my instruction to you is very simple. Just stay at home. Because they've decided that it's not tenable to let it just carry on and burn out. They have to do their best to put the fire out, but it's going to be very hard. You see it in America, taking off now. Now the American numbers, I think, have exceeded or about to exceed the Chinese numbers. And still increasing rapidly in places like New York State or on the West Coast, crisis situation. And so in Chinese they say, 一波未平,一波再起. One wave not settled, the next wave has come. And this is not the last wave, because you look at other countries in the region who are very worried. India is very worried, Russia. Southeast Asia, Malaysians have locked down, the Thais have closed their borders, the Indonesians are also very anxious. This is all around us, and the waves are going to take many, many months and maybe more than a year or two to settle. And we in Singapore, we are sitting watching our dike, trying to keep ourselves safe and preventing any of this from coming in, and I have a situation which goes out of control. So I'm in this for a very long time to come, and to sustain this, I need everybody's cooperation, safe distancing, personal hygiene, cooperation when we are contact tracing, and discipline when people come back, stay home notification, stay home. And that way, we slow the spread of the virus. If you have a spot pop up, we have a good chance to mop it up before it gets out of control, and then we have a public health disaster. So I think the healthcare part is a very big problem. The economy part is also an unprecedented problem because it's so disruptive. Production has stopped in the countries which are locked down, so our supplies can't come in. I went to my market last weekend on Keat and chatted with the tropical fish shop who's been there donkey's years. And she says she has a problem. She can't get her supplies. Supplies come from Malaysia, and Malaysia is locked down. Tropical fish, not an essential item. How does she get her business going? That's just a small example. People are not moving. The goods are still flowing but impacted. But the economies are drastically down. America this week, their unemployment, people applying for unemployment benefits. Usually they have a couple of 100,000. This week they had 3 million people applying for unemployment benefits. So all around the world it's happening. That hits us. And in Singapore, it hits us particularly hard because we are so dependent on trade, and our industries like aviation, like tourism, travel, hotel, they are in, business has gone to zero. SIA's business is had gone down to 96%, by 96%. So it's come to a halt. So this is not going to go away in a hurry because we are protecting our borders until everything calms down. Other countries are doing that. In fact, China, having brought their cases down to zero, have now, instead of relaxing controls on their borders, have now put up more stringent border protections around themselves because they are dead scared of the COVID-19 coming back into China. And that's all going to affect the aviation industry as well as globalized economies like Singapore. And it's going to last quite a long time. It's not a V-shaped down dip. It's not a U-shaped dip. It's come down. If you're lucky, you can sustain it at a diminished level for quite a long time. If you're not lucky, it will keep on going down, and some pieces are going to have a lot of difficulty just staying in existence. So the economic challenge is very grave, and therefore in this situation we must be quite clear, people must be quite clear that we are doing all we can to help them to stabilize the economy, to preserve jobs, to help companies stay in business, reduce their costs, to help the key industries which are drastically hit, like aviation, to stay able to continue in a sort of semi-suspended animation, but able to come back to life when the opportunities come. And whatever it takes to do that, we will do that. And that's how we came up with a package yesterday, very drastic wage support scheme, help for the self-employed, the gig economy, help for the companies, help for the households. In fact, we tripled the household package, support and assistance package. But we want to see people through this. And we're under no illusions that this is the end of the story because nobody can tell what lies ahead. In February, when we made the budget, we knew it would not be the last word, but we thought that it would buy us a few months, and then we would have some time to assess the situation, and we would be down the road, we will do more and put together the next package and then see us through the next stage. But we did not expect within 1 month the picture was totally changed. The health picture was totally changed. The economic picture was totally changed. And therefore the policy response, the action from the Singapore government had to be totally changed. And so within 1 month we have a supplementary budget which for these pieces 4, 5, 6 times bigger than the original February budget. But it's necessary, and we have the dry powder. If we need to do more, when we need to do more, we will do that down the road. But even then, there will be uncertainty, there will be pain, there will be job losses, There will be cases of the COVID-19, and I'm sure along the way, as time passes, there will be further people who will not survive and will succumb to the disease. We have to expect that. There will be ups and downs. And therefore, it's critical that we go into this eyes open, strong leadership, good government, united and determined to see this through. So that's what I explained to the President, but I didn't really have to say it in all that detail because the President is reading the newspapers and reading the cabinet papers, and she knows and she has her own feel for what is the situation. So when we made the case to her, she understood and she supported what we are doing. And that's what she said when, in her letter to Parliament, which the Speaker read out yesterday. So that's where we are now. I wanted to give you this backdrop, and I'm happy to take any questions you have.
Prime Minister, for how long can this massive package tide us through? I think Heng didn't rule out the possibility of tapping into the reserves. Again, he also said that we might have to do more down the road. Do we have room for that? Is that a likely scenario?
It's quite possible. The components of the package are designed to be lasting for 3 quarters until the end of the year. And the payments are meant to stretch out until the end of the year. So at the very least, as we approach the end of the year, we will have to think whether we need to extend that package, and if so, whether you want to modify it, increase it, decrease it, or whatever. That we have prepared for. But we must also be psychologically prepared that if things actually get worse during the next few months, before the end of the year, we may need to do something even before that. And if it comes to that, we will go to the reserves. We have tapped from the reserves for this package, $17 billion. The total amount of the reserves we do not publish, but we have much more than that, and it will see us through for quite a long time. It is just as well that we have not gone and listened to the people who said to us, you don't need so much, why are you saving all this money? Just touch it and we will be all right. But we kept it aside, and I think this is not just a rainy day, it's a mighty storm, as the DPM said. And we will do what we need to do.
PM, what assurances can you give to Singapore businesses in terms of the government's support in the case of a drawn-out crisis that stretches for a year or 2 years?
The cost side, we can do a lot, because wages, for example, the job support scheme across the economy is 25% of wages. For the tourism industry, it's 50% of wages. For travel and aviation, it's 75% of wages. So that's a huge amount of money. And I think it makes up about $15 billion out of the package yesterday, 1/3. That we can continue. If we are looking at rentals and costs like property tax, that also we have a lot of flexibility to continue to use those as means to help people. What is difficult for us to do is to bring back the business when there is no business. If I have to lock down the public entertainment, then it's very difficult for the discos to operate. It's very difficult if you are a DJ. Where do you get your gig? If there's no international flights, because other countries have locked down their borders, then it's very difficult to keep SIA pilots and crew flying. And if they're not flying, they don't get their flying allowances. And that's 60% of their pay, so it's a very substantial hurt to them. And there will be other impacts like that, which is going to be very difficult for us to completely neutralize. What we can do is to find ways in which to redeploy the people who are now freed up, and well, their day job is not there, but SIA as an organization is a very capable organization. Their people are very good, they know how to do service, and I'm sure we can use them elsewhere. Whether we are using the organization to do contact tracing, or whether we're using them to be guides, to be encouraging people to keep social distance and to have the right behavior in public places. I think that we have to work hard to find ways to redeploy the people who are inevitably going to be at the very least underemployed during this period. And you're talking about tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands. The Americans, they had one estimate that they think, I don't know whether he meant it seriously, but this was a member of the Fed who said 30% unemployment.
So now we're talking about business. What about for households? How do we assure people that that's enough? And how long can it go for? And if we're looking at the lower income families, is that enough for them?
Well, the way we structure the household assistance, we have always structured the household assistance is to have more help for the lower income families, and we've done that here also. And the specific schemes are that way, but also we have put more resources into ComCare and into the community, the social work agencies. And we make sure that if somebody needs help, we will be able to get the help to them. But I would say that when we lock down, when we tighten up the restrictions, when we have less activities in schools, for example, less mixing in schools, less CCA. In fact, the households, the children who bear the burden more are the ones from the lower income families. Because the school is not just going to school, attending class and come home. It's also a place where you socialize, you mix, where the teachers guide you, where you get the enrichment classes. And that's how we level up our kids and make sure that the people from less advantaged families are well taken care of and have a chance to level up. But if enrichment has to stop, if your teachers are unable to socialize with their kids, you can't guide them, and the parents are unable to make up at home, which in some cases will be so, then the kid is going to be put at a disadvantage. And MOE tells me that already our long-term absenteeism rates have crept up in this crisis because all these support activities have not been able to carry on, and therefore the support is weaker. So that's one of the reasons why we think very, very carefully when people ask us, why don't we close the schools? After all, the Japanese have done it, so many other countries have done it. And I got a very nice letter from a young lady. She said she's taking her O-levels, and she spent some time writing a very good essay, asking me, why don't we close the schools and we solve this problem? So I decided that if she wrote to me so seriously, I should write her a proper reply. And I explained to her why it was that actually schools can be safe places. And schools actually provide a very important service which helps the kids and helps the parents. And if you don't have them open, it doesn't mean that your problem has gone away, because where do the kids go? Those who have parents who can look after them at home, well, okay, they are sit at home, do homework, no computer games. Those with no parents at home, they may run down to the video arcade or to the shops and roam around, and maybe even more at risk of catching COVID than if they were in a controlled environment in school. So we are watching that very carefully. I mean, we've got this PCF cluster, so mostly teachers infected. There's one cluster in Dover Court International School, also a couple of parents. But I think we should look at schools as individual schools rather than one whole system. Just as we look at workplaces as individual workplaces rather than one whole work system. And if a workplace has a problem, we deal with that. And we confine and we rub out that cluster. But it doesn't mean that I must shut the whole system down. Yeah, they want to ask any more questions? 也可以用中文。
我想要问的是储备，也还回到储备金的那个问题，就是如果刚刚你也提到大家都会关注，然后如果大家希望，因为你也提到就是有跟哈利马总统有一定的沟通过程，
是
他也有提到，
是。
大家如果想要知道整个制衡的那个过程是不是足够的严谨，然后如果大家还有一些质疑
我们储备金是很足够的，可是储备金本身并不足以让我们解决这个问题，因为解决问题不只是钱的问题，也是信心的问题，也是我们的组织能力，也是我们的前线的卫生人员、医护人员。所以大家关注储备金是可以理解的，但是大家不用担心，资源是足够的。我们的程序呢，政府要向总统要申请许可动用储备金的时候，首先政府本身必须考虑我们的要实行什么政策，要做什么决定，然后我们解释给总统听，这个是我们的配套。我们觉得在这样的情况之下，我们需要这样的一个庞大的配套，给人家有信心，让人家知道这个援助是有效的，不是杯水车薪，但是有效的。同时，如果我们需要做的更多的话，我们还能够做得更多。所以这个基本上是一个判断，不是一个计算。我不能够做一个把加减乘除的数目字证明给你，这样做肯定足够，是一个判断，这样做足以达到我的经济效益，我的心理效应。那总统有总统他的咨询委员会的CBA， CBA 都是很有经验的人士，他们会给总统他们的看法。总统自己也是曾经经历过不少次的风风雨雨，所以他最后做自己的决定。我看这一项事情，我们用的多用的少，但是我觉得这个是正确的动用储备金的理由。需要做，我们会做。当然，我们必须知道，这个不只是一次过的问题，因为这个全球性的病疫，我们不能够确定今年就会稳定下来，或者明年就会消除掉。我们有信心，国内我们应该可以控制这个病疫，但是世界上，全世界这个病疫，我看会蔓延一段相当长的时间。所以我们的戒备，我们的措施也必须维持相当长的时间，而对我们的经济的影响也会持续相当久。即使瘟疫过了之后，要把我们的经济恢复起来，也很不容易。你看武汉现在的情形，武汉只是2个月的时间罢了，但是是全面封城，所以一切的活动都停止了。停止是说的好听一点，其实有不少中小型企业已经是断气了，甚至不存在了，因为它资金没有资金不能够周转，货不能够到手，生意不能够做，所以根本已经不存在了。现在它不存在，你要把它恢复，要恢复以前的情况是不可能的，所以必须向前走，从头建起，这是很艰难的一件事。所以我预料，如果我们这个情况持续的话，即使瘟疫过了之后，病疫过了之后，我们也需要有一段很长的重建经济的时间的过程。我们的resilience package 我们叫做什么？资源稳定配套有多大的影响力？我们已经是尽全力了，所以我看这个是空前的一个巨大的财政开销，并且不只是一次过的，而是能够延续3、4个季的，所以我想肯定对实际的成本、对公司的成本 对家庭的开销、对企业的信心或者国人的信心会有一定的作用。当然，大家还不能够掉以轻心，以为有了这个配套，那一切是安然无事了。有了这个配套，我们还是会有艰难的日子过，但是这个配套会帮我们平稳的过这个日子。至于大选的事情，前天张志贤资政已经在国会讲了，这个是一个我正在考虑的一件事情，因为我们面临的风暴刚刚开始，大家已经觉得是大风大雨了，但是其实向前走，很可能有更大的风雨，更大的未知数。那我们要走入这一场风暴，要怎么样让新加坡有最好的领导，他们最有信心的政府，最能够帮大家解决问题的一个团队，去解决这个问题。最理想的情况是我们在以下几个月之内，样样事情搞定了，那风平浪静，我们再举行大选，还是不会太迟。但是没有人能够确定下几个月之内样样事情都可以搞定。我看这件事情到年底到明年都不一定会解决，所以在这样的情况之下，我们必须很严肃的考虑，是不是需要有一个新的人民的委托的团队进入这场很大的战役。如果需要的话呢，我们要怎么样在这样的情况之下，安全的、有效的举行一个选举？这个是我们正在考虑的问题。
如果提早会多早，然后要怎么确保它是安全的进行，还有可以给每一个竞争的对手一个公平的竞选？
这个就是我们正在考虑的问题。如果能够做，我看我们不应该排除任何可能性，因为我们不知道情况会怎么样。如果我们像英国这样说，全国完全锁下来，没有一个人能够出走，那样你要组织任何事情，包括选举都很不容易。但是如果我们经济还能够大致上正常运作，大家还能够办公、工作、组织事情。虽然我们不能够大组人聚集在一起，但是我们还能够把事情办得来。那在这样的情况下，不是理想的，但是如果需要的话，那我们可能不得已也必须采取适当的办法，调整我们通常举行选举的方式，调整我们的选举方式。现在有互联网，我们有公众媒体，我看大家传播讯息是很方便的，所以我看这是可以做得到的事情。其实你看其他国家在这种情况下也曾经举行过选举，以色列举行了全国性的国会选举，美国的 primary elections 有些他们没有举行，但是有好些州还是继续举行，所以这些是办得到，是可以解决的问题。
所以总理，接下来这个情况也在进一步恶化，我们真的会再进一步采取更严谨的措施吗？包括关闭学校，刚才你有提到说，为什么我们不关闭学校这样的一个情况？
我们不能够排除任何可能性。当然，我们不希望情况会恶化，我们希望我们能够控制住情况，但是要控制住情况，就要依靠大家的帮忙，因为不只是政府的政策，不只是我们的医护人员的努力，也是大家帮助保持安全距离，避免如果你病的话，请不要出门，请不要上工，请不要去夜总会。Yeah.
If a GE were to take place, how do you see hustings, nomination day, and voting happen
I think it's a very difficult decision because we are going into a very big storm. And you want to have the strongest team and the strongest mandate and the longest runway in order that Singapore can have the best leadership to see it through this storm. And that's a very desirable and in fact essential requirement for us to see through this together. If we were sure that the things would settle within the next 6 months, I think we can say, well, let's wait for 6 months, let things calm down, then we carry on. But nobody can say it may well get worse before I expect it can easily get worse before it gets better. And you have to make a judgment in this situation with an outbreak going on, with all sorts of exceptional measures implemented in Singapore. Is it possible for us to conduct an election and to get this done so that we clear the decks and we can go through and deal with whatever lies ahead with us? And that is the question. As I said, if you are shut down, like the UK is shut down or like Wuhan was shut down, everybody stays at home, then nothing can be organized. I mean, how do I get ballot boxes? How do I count the ballots? How do people come out to vote? It can't be done. But short of that situation, even when you have restrictions and some safe distancing measures, life still goes on. People are working, people can travel, people can conduct a poll, and countries have been conducting elections. Israel did one recently. The American primary elections in several states, in many states they have gone ahead. Some postponed it, but most have carried on. So these are, to a large extent, solvable problems. You have to think of solutions for them, but it can be done. And I think that we have to weigh conducting an election under abnormal circumstances against going into a storm with a mandate which is reaching the end of its term. And we have to make a decision on that. I would not rule any possibility out. I think once all the all the requirements are cleared, and that includes the electoral boundaries have reported, but the electoral rolls have to be certified and republished. Once that's done, that means all possibilities are there, and then I'll have to judge the situation.
Last question again.
I wanted to ask a question on the 4G leadership.
Yeah.
This time, the other day in Parliament, we saw Minister Lawrence Wong getting very emotional. How are the ministers, 4G ministers especially, coping with dealing with the crisis on the economic and the health front? And what is your assessment of their performance?
Well, I'm very happy that we put Lawrence Wong and Gan Kim Yong to chair the interministry task force, and that Heng Keat is advising them and closely supervising this, and was in fact instrumental in putting together the budget and then the resilience budget, which he delivered yesterday. I think people have seen them, they have watched them respond, they've watched them answer questions, deal with emergency situations, shortage of runs on food, runs on toilet rolls, big outbreaks, bad news. And I think that they have gained experience and confidence, and I believe that also they have gained in trust and rapport with the people. It's a formative experience for the population and for the leadership. The first generation, they were born in a crucible of fire. I mean, they came in, the world was upside down, and they were part of the fight. They went fully into the fight, and they brought us through that, independence, separation, and forward. And the Merdeka, that was the pioneer generation. Then the Merdeka generation, well, they lived through that, and they built and played a big part bringing Singapore here. So they knew what life was about. But for quite a long time, we've had stable circumstances in Singapore, And people work hard, they take life seriously, but at the same time, they can't quite imagine what it is like when things are turned totally upside down, and suddenly everything which you assumed was secure, your job, your health, your family, is at risk. And we regularly tell people, Singapore is fragile, what we have achieved is precious, you have to continue to work hard, it can disappear in a moment if you take your eye off the ball. But people listen to us, but in the back of their mind they do wonder, is it true or not? After all, the show has gone on for so many years, and maybe you can go on autopilot. So this shows everybody that's quite serious. It's absolutely existential, life and death. It's not masak-masak. And I think if you come through this, you have more than one generation settled, knowing what Singapore is about.